Episode number 17. And I'm back with that guy.
I got you over there. So
I know. I think we do opposites. It's in the right spot. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Last time we did that. He's back. He missed episode 16. We actually are letting him back.
I'm still bitter.
I know you are. It's okay. That's okay.
Just for those out there, Kenji didn't tell me about the last episode. I would have jumped on. I was in Salt Lake City, and it was snowing in Park City. So I would have had like snow behind me, and people would have been jealous. But no, the extra phone call would have killed you. That's fine.
Listen, how about you stop and take a drink and relax?
I need to do that.
Tell me what you got.
Okay. There's a story in my mind now. So this is homebrew from my next door neighbor. So my next door neighbor, I don't know if I've told you this story. I think he's the one that does the Airbnb. They have 4 kids under 8. Just quit his job. He and his wife moved their family. They moved their family to whatever whichever of the places they own doesn't have renters. 4 kids under 8. They do this, and he just quit his job. He has a great blog. Go check it out. Gleasoning, if you want to know what it's like. But this is his homebrew.
Your neighbor is very cool. He's also insane.
Oh, he's insane, but he's one of the fire pit neighbors, so it's all good.
You're okay there? All right.
Yeah, I had glasses on, so it's okay.
Tell me, come on.
Oh, I got to try it?
Yeah, that's how it works.
I think it's like a Pilsner or a Kolsch. I can't remember which. He's going to have to...
What is it?
He claims to watch this, drink while you think. Because, he says, I quit my job now.
Describe it, yeah. I mean, what does it taste like?
I'm bad at that stuff.
Okay, fine.
So you can't buy
Pilsner or Kolsch. It's a light beer.
It's a lighter beer.
Good summer light beer.
It's a great summer beer for the 90-degree weather here today. So,
does it taste homebrewish or does it taste professional?
Oh, yeah, it tastes. No, it doesn't taste. It's his the second go round, so he did it different. The first one round tasted homebrewish. This round tasted pretty good. So.
Okay, I've got the Ironmonger Brewing Company. See that there?
Where's that from?
Marietta, Georgia.
Oh, you're doing a local brew.
Steambreather. Actually, my wife knows these folks, so they were nice enough. She was over actually at their offices, which is a brewery, yesterday, and she brought us home. They were nice enough to send us with a cool little 4-pack. So I'm excited. It's a double IPA, 7%. And let's take a look. I think this is maybe kind of one of those hazy IPAs.
It's kind of poured in the glass beer. That's like a classier than normal beer for us.
Yeah, I'm kind of going glass more these days. That's what I call a pro move right there.
I got the glass.
That's like legit right there. Like, yeah.
This is like a little resealable thing. So cheers to you, man.
Cheers, brother. That's good. Wow.
So we both know the brew makers.
You definitely know yours. I know mine through 1 degree of separation. How about that?
Okay.
Tasty. I'll check that out more often.
So we are now part of the local food movement. Eat local.
Drink local.
Local.
Yours is super local. Yeah.
Mine's super.
Brewed next door.
Brewed
next door, whatever Airbnb they're having.
Well, he's not next door today.
Yeah.
Because they rented out all 3 of those units, so they're down the street today with their 4 kids under 8.
So give me
under 8 years old.
I know. Like you said, the guy's insane.
I love him though.
Where were you? You said Salt Lake City. What were you doing?
We're technically in Deer Park, so we're.
I know this part. Deer Valley.
Deer Valley. No, we're in.
Yeah.
What's the park?
Deer Park's the water.
Okay,
Park
Deer
City.
Valley, Park City.
Yeah.
So we're just outside of Park City in Deer Valley, which I can't tell the difference. But went with my EO forum up there, and we had a great forum day. On the first day, we had an OKR trainer from Google. The second day, and then we went 4-wheeling with Jeep Wranglers on the third day. So that was when, like, you don't tell your spouses about those days. They're like, "Oh, glad you're working so hard."
Yeah.
It was team building.
You kind of just blew it right there. But anyway, I'll go back to one that's more business-like. OKRs.
OKRs.
So we do OKRs at Acuity. You want to describe them?
Yeah,
to our
I mean,
listeners?
so 4 of the 6 of us in our EO forum are doing OKRs in some form or fashion now. And at Acuity, OKRs is just kind of a management tool where I think we use them more as communication of like the quarterly vision out to everybody, and then we drill down to the department level, and the departments push their vision down, and then they put kind of, best practice 3 to 5 things under each vision, or each objective, they call it, which are more measurable. It says like, how are we going to achieve these things?
Yeah.
So Google's kind of the one that John Doerr's kind of the guy that created it from Intel, but Google kind of made it famous. So one of the project managers at Google flew out to help us understand how they did them, best practices, things they do well, things they do poorly. Some great stuff came out of it. It was great.
So it stands for Objectives and Key Results. Yeah. It's kind of a quarterly, for those who haven't tried it out yet, it's quarterly kind of strategy. Yeah, you're right. I think the way we use it as Acuity, we've done it now we're getting close to 2 years.
2 years now.
Really more as a kind of a communication device, alignment tool to make sure everyone's kind of on the same page. What we were finding is a lot of the time you and I, and I'm sure people who watch this are not surprised by this at all, you and I find some rabbit hole to geek out on, and we kind of go down it, and we get super excited, and then we come back and we start doing things at the company, and like people are like, what in the hell are the two of them doing? Like, I don't even understand. It's like, and we're like, oh, maybe we should have actually talked to people about what we're trying to do. Whether it works or not, but at least what the vision was. So we've used OKRs as a way to kind of share some of the craziness that flows between your and my heads.
I like to think of it like the objective is like communicating the vision down, and the key result like is the 3 things or 5 things that build up to the objective. That's kind of laying out the path of how we're going to get there, and also kind of an accountability check for the organization. Like, hey, we just want to make sure that we stay on the path. Like when we put things on this chart and we kind of say we're going to do them together, we're going to track that and hold each other accountable for that. So
I'd encourage people to check it out if you haven't done it. It's not, I mean, the difficulty of it is in just staying consistent and keeping doing it and kind of setting good key results. But it's a good process. Google's been really good about it to where we can maybe put a link in the show notes, but like free templates out there all over the place to do this. So if you haven't done it in your company, definitely check it out. I think it's interesting. I thought it was really cool that you guys brought someone out from Google.
Yeah, we read the book "Measure What Matters" as a group as the first step in our group, and you and I both read that when we were starting out too. So
did he talk about, like, I always heard that the rumor was at Google, every single person at Google, all the way up to the founders, have visible OKRs. You can go and look at, like, literally management team at Google. You can go look at their individual OKRs. I don't know if you got.
He squashed that rumor.
Oh, really? So not true?
Yeah. So people have the option of doing that, but there's certain functions that they don't force to do it. Or I don't know if they force them in Google. It sounded like best practice, the way in his consulting of us, was to not force individuals to do it. Like if you have 6 principal engineers and 12 senior engineers, like they know, like they're working on the sprint, right? So it's not as helpful to have them kind of have the full-blown OKRs.
Yeah.
I have a theory of like what an individual thing should look like, but nobody's ever asked. So
I'm not going to ask about that right here. I think we've gone down into nerddom far enough. But actually, I want to go into separate nerddom.
Okay.
Give me your, the final episode of Game of Thrones.
Final episode of Game of Thrones.
Give me your your 30-second, like, where are you happy with it? Are you not? Are you what's the?
Yeah, I just enjoy shows more than a lot of people. I'm just not very critical, so I thought it was great. I think you can get I think it was very difficult job to wait 2 years, 2 years of hype to hit the, like, was it what I expected? I kind of try to go in those things not expecting anything. It's hard not to expect anything when everybody's talking about it and everybody's hypothesizing. It's kind of fun. But I kind of, like, when you look back, it's kind of ended how it had to end. If Jon Snow is on the Iron Throne, then, like, after he, can we do spoilers? I guess people watched, right? So if
Let me put it this way: nobody's watching this who hasn't watched Game of Thrones. We're saying.
Oh, that's true. But, like, if they leave Jon Snow in the, like, there's no way there's not another fight and the series can end, right? Yeah. So it was kind of it kind of ended one of the only ways it could end. So it was a little tidy for the episode, but it's a series finale. Like, what do you want them to do?
I think I agree with that. I enjoyed it too. Like, I think there are a lot of people who are up in arms about it. And to your point, like, I don't know, to find time to even watch a show and, like, kind of turn your brain off is unusual. So to me, that just feels like a gift anyway. Like, cool. I'm just kind of get a chance to be entertained. I thought it was entertaining. I enjoyed it. I think that I saw someone a good tweet about it that I thought summed it up well was, like, episode, I think it was like episode 75. I don't know, whatever it was. Like, it was number 75. And they said, like, hey, episode 75 would have been, only thing would have made it better had it been like episode number 80. Like, it was almost like a bit of that is the way it should have ended. It would have been cool to see a few more episodes kind of help get there. Because there was your point about being tidy. I think that tidy, you mean, like, it was pretty tight and condensed. They had to get it done, like, kind of in a short order. It would have been nice to maybe stretch it out a little bit more. But I thought the way that it ended.
I wish they had 12 episodes this season. They could have made those 6 into 12.
Yeah.
Like, and everybody would have been more happy with that, probably.
I agree.
But in this season, the worst thing about this season is everybody talked about it for 2 years so much that there was nothing that they could have do to surprise anybody.
Yeah.
Because there was, like, a conspiracy theory about every possible random selection that was out there, including, like, everybody dying. Like, everybody could have died, you know?
So we're taping this. It'll get released on Wednesday of next week. We're taping it going into a long 3-day weekend, Memorial Day weekend, which is awesome.
Kids out of school, Memorial Day weekend.
Kids are out of school, all that good stuff. So Memorial Day, 2 things I think of. Obviously, the big one we should all be thinking of are those who have served.
I was afraid you were going to say barbecue first.
I'm going to that next. Don't worry. Not serve barbecue.
You're supposed to do. You're supposed to go
a much greater cause than that. I loved Jason, who's on our tax team. He was good. He has served overseas, and he had a great post in one of our Slack channels about just reminding everybody. It was fun to really see. Not about fun. It was the wrong word. It was
humbling and thoughtful.
Yeah. So I guess my question is, do you have anybody in your family who served in the military?
Yeah, my dad, of course, in Vietnam was the big one. So I got to go to the traveling Vietnam memorial with my dad one time, and that was one of the more emotional experiences of my life.
Was your dad emotional about that? Like, is he normally an emotional guy?
He is not normally emotional, and he was very emotional about that. He actually, before one of his high school reunions, actually got on a flight and went to DC to do the real wall. And then, and I've done that since, and I did it after I did the other one with my dad, and I can't handle it. It's just
the actual that wall is.
It's a little much for me because I have my dad's context. But my dad, 16 of his classmates died in his high school class, his senior class. So he went and rubbed all 16 and then brought them back for his reunion.
That's so wow.
And I can't appreciate. I have trouble appreciating that because that's just I can't imagine burying 16 of my high school classmates. We buried a couple for crazy, spinal meningitis for one, and we had a terrible car accidents with a couple, but like 16.
But to have that happen right there, because that would have been all of them while they were young in a very concise period of time. The world is watching that. That would be incredibly difficult. I remember my dad also served. He was Air Force and was on an air command base. Actually, where I was born, on an Air Force Strategic Air Command base, a SAC base. But I remember going to my mom, talking about classmates. I think it was her either prom or homecoming date, from high school, was killed there. And I remember her doing the rubbing as well, and just how many people out of her class, because our parents are in similar ages. And that's such a different context than we have. And, we have, to think about that, right? We have, like, I now recognize I have 2 kids who are going to be in high school next year. One is in the middle of high school, and like, that's who was coming out, like, only a couple of years later, there they were going to serve. And that's, we're probably in a generation that is really unusual in the sense that we haven't had a conflict like that, where there's certainly not a draft, but where large scale numbers of people who are having to go and serve. So I'm like you too. I don't know. Contextually, it's just hard to imagine. I mean, I'm appreciative and as grateful, I think, as I can be, without having the context and full understanding, like someone who actually went through that kind of conflict would.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the one from my generation is my college roommate who, I had the eye-opening experience one time. He's a pilot in the Air Force, and he was flying. He was assigned to Iraq, so he was flying the no-fly zone in Iraq. And so I would call him one time, I was talking to him about it, and I was like that's like no-fly zone, like that's like pretend, right? Like that's like, he's, no, we get shot at every day. And I'm like, that's just like, I guess I was really naive about it. And I think a lot of people in our generation it's easier to take for granted when there's not a war, I think. So, but
very much so. So,
tip of the hat to all the veterans. So,
all of you. So the other part of Memorial Day, a little bit of,
the funner side.
Yeah, the funner side. Are you grilling anything out this weekend for Memorial Day? Anything,
I'm not sure what the plan is. We haven't thought ahead. I don't have a big green egg like some people, so.
Mine's covered up right now, but you can see it over there in the corner. Oh, my baby. It's my second big green egg.
So are you doing big green egg smoking today?
I don't know. I want to do. We'll see. We realized a friend of ours has a 50th birthday party on Friday night. We got to go out to dinner, and then our little neighborhood has a get together on Monday. So it kind of took away some of the good, like, days to do it. Like, I could do it tomorrow, but usually I like to do on a weekend like this something big. That was always a good excuse when we used to do, when the team at Acuity was a little smaller, and we'd all come over here to the house and we'd do, pork and brisket. And so I don't know, I'll probably try to find something to put on there. Do you have, so when you are cooking, I'll say, let's just focus on the grill, because that's kind of what's thought of here most.
Okay.
Do you have a go-to, like, what's your thing for on the grill that you just kind of crush, that's your thing?
On the grill? Well, first of all, everybody should know that for some reason when I moved to Georgia, everybody thinks barbecue is supposed to be pork, which confused me forever coming from Texas.
It's a southern,
that's all messed up. So and then if you don't even bring the people with the vinegar-based sauces and stuff like that versus the actual barbecue sauces, I'm just saying. So from Texas, you know this. I grew up on the border, man. I'm the fajita cook, man. I sous vide the fajitas. We once did and when tailgate time comes, I'll do sous vide fajitas and sear them on the grill. Have like a medium rare fajita. Man, that's my go-to. That's like
you do dominate that. We make sure that's at least at one tailgate every single year. That's your fajitas are.
I know you're probably going to go with the pork butt or something, aren't you? What are you going to say?
I think that actually for me, when I think about barbecue, like I do think about pork, and I do think about vinegar sauce. It's called Lexington style. This is Lexington, North Carolina, where I went to college nearby. And it's got a very distinct type of barbecue. So I probably appreciate that. Like it has like more memories and like kind of just when I grew up in the Midwest, we didn't really have barbecue. I mean, we had a lot of meat and potatoes, but it wasn't really like a barbecue culture. And when I got to North Carolina, like there was culture, and that was the first kind of barbecue culture I encountered. So I think I kind of that's like my go-to of what I like. How I will say, however, and this will be I won't say controversial. I really love doing brisket. I think brisket is just.
I know we got you on the brisket. I knew you've been doing that lately.
I love it. Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about.
I love it. And there was my family loved it. Everybody just goes crazy about it. But there is, in fact, there was the year we were in Austin, Texas for Xerocon. I was a speaker that year, and the folks at Xero did a really nice job. They put together kind of like speaker gifts, like, hey, if you spoke, and they sent you all this Texas stuff. And one of the things they sent was the Franklin's barbecue.
Oh,
and I've never eaten there yet. I'm sure you probably have.
Oh, we should do that when we go.
Dude, I would love to. It's supposed to be like the best barbecue in the world. But what I do is, I've done it a couple times. I've followed to the absolute extent that I can the recipe, or at least the approach that the Franklin's barbecue does to their brisket, and it's just next level. It is just that good. And so yeah, my go-to if I want to impress somebody is trying to do, I think, brisket. 'Cause to me, I think brisket's more challenging. I mean, pork is great, but you can throw pork on there and you can kind of like not pay attention to the temperature that much. You can let it go long. Pork is really resilient, getting a good pork butt. But like doing a brisket right, like that's
legit.
It's legit. And anyway,
that's real barbecue.
And that's what my family, I love both. I mean, I love both. We're even forgetting about some of the good, I shouldn't say the Midwest doesn't have some, but like it's a little further south, like Kansas City and St. Louis has some great barbecue. That was still one of the greatest tailgates I ever went to, was a Monday Night Football game in KC. Like, you want to talk about bringing the heat for like a barbecue tailgate, like, man, go to Arrowhead Stadium. They can bring it. But, yeah, brisket, man. So I don't know. We need to find some opportunity to kind of do like fajitas and brisket and make something up where we just get out there on the.
Yeah, we need a brisket tailgate one of these times.
Yeah, or just like the cool thing about doing something like that is you get to kind of sit out like all day long, kind of hang out, play some music, just socialize, kind of working, whether it's either on the beef or on the pig, kind of all night long. It's kind of a great tradition. So we got to do that, dude.
Cool.
Any last things you got before we kick it into a 3-day weekend?
No, we didn't. I mean, do we have to talk about accounting? We guess we don't, right?
We talked about some business stuff, OKRs.
Oh, we talk about OKRs. Okay, check the box.
Anything else accounting-wise that can happen this week?
I'm sure. We're just not. Sometimes we don't get wrapped up in that stuff. Xero Roadshow was here. That was great to see everybody.
The Roadshow was
Raphael came down from New York, and a bunch of the all our friends came in for the Xero Roadshow. I'm kind of looking forward to the San Diego trip.
Man, they're just a fun crew. It's a fun crew. We did have a good night, kind of being out and about. I will, like, where was it again that we went and
6 Feet Under?
Had drinks at and all that? Oh, yeah, that was fun. That was nice.
We took them to the rooftop of 6 Feet Under afterwards, or they took us, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of ran out of there early. I assume they probably picked up the tab.
I hope so. I hope I didn't float the bill.
So. Just in that, because I'll do my one show and tell of.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Oh yeah, that was from Rooftop. There's Tate, Drew Smith
over here. Drew Smith.
Monday Night Brewing.
Look at Corey throwing up like gang signs back there from Xero. You got Ryan over here from Practice Ignition.
Practice Ignition! Shout out, hey Ryan. Yeah. That was fun catching up with Ryan. I hadn't seen him in a while, so it was great to have him down here. There was Raphael to the right.
That was easily the earliest night I've ever had while hanging out with Ryan. He and I, I've had some much later nights, but anyway, that was a good night. Great skyline view of good old Atlanta. So,
Is it just for me that you cut Brandon out of the picture to not remind me that he was there and that he was the host for this show last week?
Yeah, that was for you. I was just trying to bring you back in, trying to make you jealous.
That was bring it full circle.
I know you felt like I cheated on you last week. So
that was the makeup picture.
I don't want to rub your mistress like right in your face. So, yeah.
No, but if anybody, I'm totally cutting Kenji out the week of Xerocon. So I'm looking for guest hosts the week of Xerocon. So
I'll be out for 2 weeks. So get some folks.
Oh, is it 2 weeks? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay. So is that the week before and the week of Xerocon?
That's right. Yep.
Okay. So I'll have to do one from San Diego. Oh, I might do 2 from San Diego.
Maybe.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun either way. So
desperately seeking Matthew as a co-host. So
somebody, please, for the love of God, help him out. Keep him on track. And
how do we get that when you're the one that plans everything? I'm gonna have to plan something.
Man, you are.
That's not as fun.
It's gonna be. It'll be fun.
It's gonna change the whole vibe of the whole show. So.
Good. A little variety. We get tired of me and my nonsense. So.
Okay.
Anyway,
I just find like some kind of incriminating picture of the guest host, and then
that's
we're good.
What we do. I'll tell you the playbook. It's called Google the host. Try to make them uncomfortable. No, just kidding.
And see what they go from.
There you go.
Cool,
man. Hey, have a great weekend.
You have a great holiday weekend, man.
You as well. And be sure to subscribe.
Oh, we have a subscribe button now.
We don't.
We don't?
We always do this. I don't think we do. I think it comes on afterwards.
Hey, Makiba, put a subscribe button right there.
I have a button. Call Will Lopez if we don't know how to do it because he knows how to do it.
Yeah, Will could probably figure it out. So.
All right, everybody. See you next time.